안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
Welcome back to 4 from On One podcast. We are going to talk teaching in Korea. We're going to help you find the right job here in Korea. I got 4 experts, 3 of our old crew. Gio, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
Hokjun, the Korean who hasn't taught, but he's got some good knowledge. How are you, buddy?
Hey, boys.
And guys, I got us an expert, someone who taught me the ropes of Korea. She taught me my first season in Korea how to survive. She bought me my first train card, my first bus card.
That's
Wow.
good looking out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've done that to all my other teachers. We introduce Leilani
Pay it forward.
from South Africa. Hey.
Hey, applause.
Yeah.
So
Welcome aboard.
Nice,
how are you,
nice.
Leilani? Hola.
I'm good. I just basically got off from work, so a little bit tired, but good.
That's teaching in Korea. You always end the day
Wow.
tired. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Defeated.
Especially when you
Defeated.
end at my time, around this time.
How long you been teaching in Korea for?
Almost 8 years. By November, it'll be 8 years.
Wow.
This
And you, Gio?
7.
7. And
7
I'm
years.
5.
Oh, good.
And Hokjun, how long you been drinking in Korea for?
20-something years, I think.
Right. Keep that streak going.
So we have got a lot of experience. We worked in all different types of schools. So today we'll talk about the process, getting the job, who can get a job, the research you should do before finding the job, why it's important to get a good job because you're stuck with that job, and then all the other stuff going on after that, what to do your first month. So we're going to do all of it. If you can't get a good job after this, we don't know what you should do.
Something's wrong with you.
It's your fault.
It's yours. Yes.
Let's first start. First is you need a reason to come to Korea and teach English. Leilani, what was your reason to come to Korea and teach English? What made you do it?
Basically, I think that it was convenient and the benefits were really good. So tax was low, pay was good. The fact that they paid for an apartment, where a lot of countries don't.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to find your own apartment. They've got it for you. So that was like a big plus for me. So that's basically why. Just at the time, everything was. I started in 2008, so at the time, everything that I wanted, they seemed to have.
Yeah. So Leilani, once again, is from South Africa. Let's go through quickly the 7 countries that can teach English. Australian, me, American, South Africa, Canadian, New Zealand, Ireland, and the UK. I got them all? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to
Yes,
be
you
part
do.
of these 7 countries to get a
Okay.
job. And from South Africans, there's a lot of South Africans here in Korea teaching English. It's a really good job for you guys, yeah? Like
Yeah.
for the reasons you mentioned, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is it
Definitely.
difficult to get the paperwork together or the process of moving over from South Africa to Korea?
The first time, somebody did it for me. So I applied through Epik, and there was a big recruiting agency in South Africa. A lot of people made use of this agency, and they did all the work the first time. The second time, it was a little more difficult, and the last 2 times that I've been here, it's been even harder, particularly last year due to COVID. The waiting time to get your police clearance certificates, your apostille documents took way longer than it did initially when I did it myself the first time. So yeah.
And Gio, what made you come to Korea to teach?
Well, gosh, I had just graduated from university, 2012, and I basically just had a dead-end job. I was working at a call center, and I thought, what the hell am I doing with my life? And I had a cousin who was teaching here already by 5 years at the time, so I just reached out, said, hey, come on over to Korea. And I thought, where the hell is Korea? So watched a couple K-dramas, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just that arrogant, ignorant, American. So looked into it more, thought, hey, for all the same reasons, bought my plane ticket, provided my housing, and I thought, this is super, super convenient for me. Being 22 years old, so I thought, why not? Let's just do it.
And Hokjun,
Glad you guys came here.
yeah, and Hokjun, you've
Yeah.
lived in Australia. What's some great things about living in a different country? What did you enjoy about living in Australia that you wouldn't have got to experience? What's something good about living overseas?
I think the most interesting thing is that you will see and feel and living in another culture.
Yeah.
So which will make you what do I say? Make your eyes open actually.
Yeah.
So and also you can accept the other people who is different from me.
Mm.
So basically like Americans or South Africans, Australians, you guys all live in a different background, different families and different cultural things. And then right now we see each other and we can have fun with each other. So this is a very good perk of being in abroad.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
we'll go on to Leilani, but Leilani, like she showed me first couple of weeks, she showed me restaurants to go. My first barbecue, like I wouldn't know what to do to walk in a barbecue the first time. She showed me a favorite little barbecue joint. What was it, like 12,000 won for all you can eat or something? That little joint.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was so
really?
Yeah.
good. I took my family there.
Yeah.
So if she didn't show me how to do it, I wouldn't have shown my family how to do it. Like it's just this.
Ah,
And then
that's great.
obviously we met the Korean Jumas, the little assistants, and they showed us restaurants. So Hokchun's right. Like you need to live in a country to really experience the non-touristy parts of a country. Yeah. Staying 2 weeks in Korea, it's very hard to get that experience. I would find. I would think. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
sure,
Moving
yeah.
on. Research.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
Leilani, you worked in Epic. I didn't know you worked in Epic. Did you do Epic school?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 years. So I started in 2008, and my first two schools were through Epik. So I was at a public school for 2 years. Then I went home and then came back. And then since then I've been teaching at Hagwon. Went home again to study. Came back, and then I went home and I got married. So
Yeah, you did.
yeah.
So the research is to do Epic or Hagwon. I've never worked in Epic. Have you worked at Epic, Gio?
I have not. Nope.
What would you say some good things about working in Epic, Leilani?
Epik was they had a lot of benefits. They had a lot of support for foreign teachers. They basically had your back a lot of the time. The public school system was way more understanding. Like I got sick in my first year, I had an ulcer, and they were really, really supportive. I was living in a rural area, and the closest city was an hour away. And the teachers at the school would drive me to the hospital like once or twice a week. So I would have like a half day off. And they'd want to get, they were supportive. Vacation time was really good compared to Hagwon's.
Yeah, I heard.
So you'd get, I think it was like 8 days in the winter and 11 in the summer, switched. But in a Hagwon, your basic vacation time is like 10 days. So being in a public school, that was what I was given, but I was given more holidays. So over the winter vacation and summer vacation, I had 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Off.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah.
So I got, like, as per contract, I got what I was due as per contract, but I got more than what I bargained for as well. So working hours also minimal, capped on 22 contact teaching hours a week.
And the other benefits with Epic being the public school system, less pressure from, it's not a business like Hagwons are. So you're not dealing with parents.
No micromanagement.
Yeah.
There were quite a few Hagwons when I joined my first Hagwon. Oh my gosh, it was insane because there was suddenly you were like monitored on CCTV.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, there was one Hagwon where it was CCTV and yes. So I mean, you feel like you're restrained, you can't do things, or you're panicking because you can't set a foot out of line, you know.
Yes.
But with Epik, I was given more freedom. Also with lesson planning, I focused more on games, on students learning English through games, and I was given the freedom to do that, whereas Hagwon seemed to be a lot more structured, which can also be a good thing. But they're much more structured and book oriented. But Epik, I was given more leniency.
Sure.
And then with Hagwons are the private system, so they are a business. But there's two sort of systems, two sort of schedules you can work. You can do the 9 to 6, which me and Gio did this year, 9 to 6. Or Leilani, you always do which the one I like is starting later in the day, about midday to 2 o'clock, and finishing at nighttime. So you get your mornings off, yeah. So you can choose these two different schedules, which is awesome because I like Leilani's schedule because I like to do stuff in the morning. So I really didn't the 9 to 6 program. You're working the whole day. It feels like. Which do you prefer, Gio? Have you worked both systems?
I have.
Yeah.
My first 2 years was the 1:30 to 9 schedule.
Yeah.
And then it became 9 to 7:30.
9 to 7:30. Wow, that's a long
9 to
day.
7:30 about 6 years ago when I was working at Poly.
Yeah.
It's extremely long hours.
And you,
But,
Leilani, you always choose the afternoon shift, yeah?
No, so funnily enough, I was dismissed. I was unfairly dismissed in 2000. When was it? 2015. That's another story. I have another story at a later point if you guys want to know. But I got a new job after that, and I started from 10, and then I finished at 6.
Yeah.
It was the only Hagwon job I think that I had in the morning.
And then
But all the other Hagwons were from the afternoon to the evening. Yeah.
And so if you're doing the 9 to 6 program, you're going to work with kindergarten and elementary. So these kids can be from English age, like 3, 4 years old, to about 11, 12, maybe a bit of middle school. And then if you work the later shift, do you do much middle school at your school? So you're working elementary kids, maybe a little bit of the kindergarten program. I used to do a little bit of the kindergarten program, elementary, middle age. So you're working a bit of the older kids, more of the older kids. Do you work with middle school kids much?
Me?
Yeah. Like that.
Yes.
So the job that I just spoke about, the morning one, I actually had adult students from 10 until 1 o'clock.
Oh,
and
I never
then
taught
my-
adults. That'd be nice.
So that was actually quite nice. But it was a little bit difficult getting into the swing of things. They didn't like me much. They liked the previous teacher. I was like, hey, you left.
Yeah.
So you're stuck
Yeah.
with me. And then I had elementary school to first year middle school up to 6 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
What's your favorite
At that
age group?
specific job.
Which- What's your favorite age group, Gio?
I definitely like kinder kids. I've always been the homeroom teacher for 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, Korean age 7-year-olds. Middle school kids, they just oh god, they always just give me a hard time, and they're just ruthless.
I had to do
You
one
know?
lesson today.
yeah,
My
they
first
are.
lesson.
So ruthless.
Yeah.
So mean to me, to where it had to get to the point where I actually had to like videotape the kids in the back, like on my cell phone, so I could just kind of show the director and stuff like, hey, look at these kids, like they're making fun of me, they're like flipping me off, and just all these things while I have my back turned. I'm like, I don't like teaching this age group. That was my first year of teaching, so I didn't really know better. Everybody knew I was kind of a weak instructor because I was still like completely surprised that somebody paid for my ticket to fly me half across the world, you know?
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to fail from the beginning. I've never taught before, and I didn't have any proper training, you know? So that's, again, it just depends on the Hagwon. Some will actually invest the time in training you, have a nice orientation, have a teacher to shadow you, answer all your questions. Me, I was just kind of just thrown into it, and it showed. I think the students took advantage of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll get into some of that later. And the last couple of things I can think about researching before you start applying is location. Some locations you want to work with. Everyone wants to work in Seoul or Busan, but they're very competitive to get. We talked about the countries that can get jobs here in Korea, but I've been rejected from jobs because I'm not American. I don't know if you found that, Leilani, but the same. They don't like our accents or whatever. So
I fixed mine though. So
yeah. And money, you can also think about money. I'd say the minimum you're going to get is 2.1 million, and the max you could get in the 3 point something. I've always said your first job, if you can get 2.3, that's a good start. If that's your first job, what do you guys think about that? What would you say if you haven't got much experience?
I mean, you're going to probably expect a package of 2.1, 2.2. I mean, this is the same salaries that have been this way probably
Nothing's
since the
changed,
past 20
yeah.
years. Nothing's changed at all.
Yeah.
Even for new teachers
same.
in 2022, it's still like 2.2. It's like, okay. But of course they don't know better. Yeah, nothing has changed. June, it's the same. Cost of living are going up, but everything's still the same. And most schools will still pay that amount, just kind of save top dollar. So
Oh,
And Hokjun,
yeah.
that's too bad. Yeah.
do you know where
Yeah.
Leilani worked? She worked in Daegu. Leilani, what was your favorite restaurant in
Oh,
Daegu?
really?
My favorite restaurant in Daegu.
You used to talk about it sometimes.
Oh yeah, so there's a jampong and a Chinese restaurant, and it's
Alright.
got the best jampong in Korea, man. Like it's got the smoky barbecue seafood taste. It's amazing. So yeah,
And we should say at the
Where-
moment,
where-
you're... Oh, okay,
okay.
go. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, no. Where are you going? All right. Oh, where is this Japan, the Chinese restaurant
Where
located?
is it? It's
Daegu? Is it near to
Hagwon. Hagwon.
Hagwon?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
actually
So
outside of Daegu.
yeah, so but that's actually where I worked before. So the restaurant was close to where I worked, and that's how we
Alright.
found this restaurant. So the Korean
Yeah.
teachers took us there once, and I was hooked. So we always, the foreign teachers always went down to get the jampong, or we'll order out and get takeout or something.
You're down
yeah,
in
it was
Changwon,
so
yeah?
good.
Now? Changwon? Did you
Yeah,
get much...
it's Masan.
How's the typhoon down there? Are you getting hit by the typhoon?
Oh, well, as far as that goes, it was just basically leaves on the ground this
Oh,
morning.
yeah,
That's about
that's
as
what I
far as it
found.
got.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
Twigs and
coast, it
leaves
was
everywhere.
worse, but yeah, it wasn't that bad.
that's good. That's nothing bad down your way. All right, cool. Let's go on to... So if before you get a job, look up, research Epik or Hagwon. If you can get Epik, I think it's a good start. Like it's a good taster to get into Korea. If you get it to Epik, I never did it. I wish I did it. The ages you want to work with, what time you want to work with, how much money you want to work with, and where you want to work. Be a bit open to that first job, because it's a bit hard to get syllables on your first job. And then you're going to start applying for jobs. I'd personally, if I knew, I'd just go into the Facebook group Teaching in Korea and get one of those agents that list 1,000 jobs and talk to them and help get them to get your job. What do you guys think? Would you suggest anything else?
Are you
Dave's
saying?
ESL.
Which one?
Sorry.
Which one? Dave's ESL. I had a look on
Oh,
there the other day. It
Dave's
looks pretty
ESL.
dead these days. Have you looked at it recently?
Yeah,
It's pretty
No,
dead.
we have, because we've been looking.
I haven't. Yeah.
I got my first
We
job
have
from
been
Dave's ESL, the one in
Go ahead.
Gerryong. So
I think I did too. I think I did, because we taught at the same. I think I did too. I think that's how they advertised.
So what I was saying, I'll put the Facebook group into our link in our description, and then you contact the agents. You don't give them any money. You don't pay anyone anything. You do an interview with them, as like we're doing now, a Zoom interview or a Skype interview. Give them the details, give them the age groups you want to work with, the money, what we just discussed, and they'll help you find a job. And I think it saves you a lot of time, a lot of hassle, and they just go, and then you're going to have to do an interview at each school, a video, a photo. You got to send them photos, yeah? Every job.
You
I
have to
a
send
photo.
them a photo.
You might have
with
to
your
actually do
resume.
videos as well.
What was that, sorry?
You might have to actually do recording videos as well.
Yeah. Or
before the interview.
like a practice video, like practice
Like a
teaching video.
demo?
No,
Like a
no,
teaching
I
demo?
need like an introductory
teaching?
video, or
Oh,
talking about your
okay.
methodology.
Oh,
or
really?
Something like that. Yeah,
Oh, I've never had to do that one. Thank God.
Times are changing. Okay.
they've upped the game.
Oh, really? All right. And then let's say they'll give you a job and then you're going to fly over. What I didn't suggest is the paperwork. We didn't talk quickly about paperwork. Leilani, you're the latest to get the paperwork. When I did, it was apostilled police check, your degree, birth certificate, anything else you need. Let's skip Corona, because I think Corona's all finished now, but anything else?
Is it?
Well, the
Is it?
paperwork, I think, is finished.
Okay.
Trying to think.
Let's not date
What else
ourselves.
is new?
No?
I can't think of the top.
I
of
think
my
that's
head,
about it. Yeah. what I was suggesting, I did it after getting my job. I suggest you do all this stuff before getting the job.
Yeah.
Because I was in a rush. Yeah. It was
Well,
stressful.
nowadays they have channelers now. You don't have to take months to get, at least for Americans with the FBI background check, that would take like 2-3 months,
Yeah.
right? So now they have third-party channelers. You can get it with like 2 weeks expedited. Get all of it one-stop shop to get it sent to DC and all that good stuff.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So get your paperwork done first. Go online. I think what I said is pretty current, but you might want to check that out. Let's talk. What's some positives? Let's go positive first. What's the best thing about teaching in Korea, Gio?
Ooh, all right. The first thing that comes to mind is making connections with other people who have the same interest with you. We talked about earlier how it was just kind of coming together, and I always like the fact that always like the greatest friends that I ever met were the people that worked at that school with me, because the ones that were leaving kind of took you under the wing, kind of showed you the ropes, kind of how you two kind of met, right? And so that kind of just made you feel better, like assimilating, right? Because you're like, all right, I'm not going to fail. You're all going to fail with me, right? We're all on this together. That's how I just kind of saw it. And you just kind of had like the best kind of bonds after that. And then once you got through the flow of things and realized, hey, okay, I'm becoming a veteran teacher. When somebody else came in, you got to take like that leadership role.
Yeah.
And they kind of looked up to you. So you're kind of like, hey, this is what Korea is all about. And I don't know.
It's funny, like that
Like
first school,
networking.
like if Leilani and me didn't get along, like I get along with most people, but if we didn't get along that first school and that first experience with, I probably wouldn't have stayed here 5 years. I might have left that 1 year. Like people do runners and stuff like that. Like
A lot of midnight runs.
yeah. What about you,
Yeah, 'cause a lot
Leilani?
of people just get their hopes up.
You brought your husband over, so why do you like Korea so much? Why did you bring him over here?
Oh, wow. You dragged him, huh?
He said we should
Wow.
both go over. This time it was he was the
His
push.
fault.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a gamer, so that's why he wanted to be a
Oh,
loves
yeah.
T1. So
Yeah.
he's a
It's a
Faker
good
fan,
environment for
a
him
LOL
too.
fan. So yeah, that's why we this time round.
He loves badminton too. Yeah, he's very competitive with badminton, and quite the Koreans
Oh
love
yes,
him.
that too.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, he's a good badminton player. So
But
yeah,
for you guys, the money's really good, and the saving and the free apartment. It's a good job here for you guys.
yeah,
And
definitely.
for me, like I could make a lot more money teaching in Australia, a lot more much than here, but I save pretty much all the money I make here almost, except when I'm drinking or whatever. So I think you can save a lot of money here, and it's good casual, like to start. It's a good lifestyle. If you can handle the teaching job, the rest of life you live like kings here. You live so good. Like June, you meet a lot of teachers at baseball. Like everyone's quite on the weekends. They love the weekends.
Yeah, everybody's like quite enjoying their life in Korea, and then I was kind of surprised that they're doing a lot of the trip near countries from Korea.
Yeah.
Like Japan, Vietnam, or Thailand, or like Taiwan, Hong Kong, like everywhere. Like what do you, the countries that you guys think Asia is very very near to you, so it is very surprising for me to like you guys go there, and then after that I know, okay, you guys don't spend any money on your daily life, because you guys have like provided apartment and the a lot of stuffs
Sure.
on your job.
Yeah.
So
Everything.
that's good. And actually, I think Keith, you are not remembering that I was an English teacher in Hagwon.
Oh, really? No.
He talked about that last time.
Sorry, buddy. I'll cut that bit.
It's all right.
And then,
Tell us about your
actually,
experience
like,
then. What's it like being a Korean teacher in a Hagwon?
so as a Korean, like I was teaching the like the testing thing, like SAT kind of style,
Yes.
or the school system test for English. So it's
So like
I think it's
TOEFL,
kind of
TOEIC.
Yeah, it's probably the equivalent to that.
not a
Isn't
test
it?
or TOEIC, but I'm like, I did that too, but it's more about the Korean school test.
Okay.
That's how they go to
College,
better
university
high
entrance
school
exams.
or better university, so it is kind of like more intensive, I think.
Mm.
And
Did-
then
Did you have
the
to deal with the
keys-
parents? Did you have to talk to parents a lot?
yeah, actually, I have to at least make a call for 5 parents per day
Yeah.
to
Kind of
like,
counseling.
yeah, for counseling.
And how were they?
Yeah.
So,
Intense?
He's not gonna cut it. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be honest. He's not gonna cut it. Just like that, right? Yeah.
and then
The
they
pressure
will
on these
bring
poor
more money
kids.
to Hagwon, if I say
Yes.
that, they will
Yeah.
bring more money.
Do you get commission off of that? Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm glad that the starting payment is like 210 and 2020, because mine was 180.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think all
Yeah.
Koreans get a little bit less than
But-
us. Yeah.
they always got
Yeah,
lessons.
but
They
it
always
was
did
like
more, and I felt so bad
2011.
about them.
So
Yeah.
What we didn't say is the reason they get less, they can just, a lot of them just quit. Like we can't just quit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah,
the
that's
reason
true.
we
Not on E2.
we
Mm-mm.
talked about all that research, your visa is linked to your teaching job. So you're quite stuck to your job. I think Leila, you got out of one job in the past. It's not easy to get out of your job, is that right?
Uh, I won't say it's not easy. You probably, if you want to, you could. It's just
Yeah.
you need to think of the consequences.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would be breaking contract if you wanted to quit during your contract. It would mean breaking contract.
It's a lot of
So
pressure.
yeah, and I mean, it does go if you. There's a whole process, but it has to get
Mm.
release letters and all of that. And not every boss is going to give you a release letter. And if they don't give you a release letter, that's going to be another problem.
Yes.
So then it means you won't be able to just change your visa, which means you'd have to quit, leave the country, and reapply.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got a release letter. They would put your visa on to somebody else who's going to be your visa sponsor for your new job. So yeah, so like I said, easy, yes, easy to make the decision, but it's a little more difficult
Yeah,
in
I'm done.
following
Yes.
through with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
oh,
If we
hey, teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
Which
So
one? Which teacher?
all of you three.
Okay.
So if you quit your first job, like, okay, the condition is bad, the teaching, like the atmosphere or the circumstances is too bad.
Yes.
If you quit the first job, and then within how many months you have to get another job in Korea as a teacher, so that you would not lose your visa? Do you guys any idea about
Isn't
it?
it 30 days?
I'd say
Yeah, it was just say about 30 days. Yeah.
About 30 days.
Wow, 30 days.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
tough.
It's very
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, so do your research. That was the whole point of us going through all those steps, like the ages, and because you pretty much you got to finish that first contract off,
You're at their mercy, unless you're
Yeah.
F6.
and then
Yeah.
you'll start building up contacts, and you can sort of find better jobs. I haven't worked that trick out yet, but let's do some negative. We have talked about negatives. Hagwon's is a business, so
Let's.
they are customers. The kids are customers. So if you want to discipline a kid and they go home and tell the mum that you're a big dinosaur and you're an angry man,
Yes.
you get in big trouble. Yeah. If you lose a kid out of the school, especially the small,
Yes.
we talked about this small hug. We haven't talked about it, but there are small hug ones like what I'm working at the moment, very family run operated, husband and
Yeah.
wife, or you can do the big franchises, which a little less pressure because they're huge schools, but
I don't know about them.
every kid's worth a lot of money. Yeah. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can't piss off the parents, basically. As much as
That's
I
true.
can't get angry. So and then other negatives, working long hours we talked about. Any other negatives you want to quickly say? I would say you have to come to Korea and you got to work hard. You can't come here for a vacation. Teaching in Korea is not a vacation.
Oh,
So if
that's
you have
true.
that mindset, even working in Korea, Hokjun, you work crazy hours. And the vacations are very small. So coming to
That's
Korea is
also
not
true.
what's it called in England when they take a gap year? It's not a gap year job. Don't do this as a gap year job. Yeah. Any other
Yeah.
negatives, Gio?
Um,
No?
I already have a negative experience with
Yeah.
my current school, so
Wow,
it's yeah,
alright.
that's yeah, because even though I have an F6 visa,
Yeah.
you know, I have the flexibility and stuff. The fact that I would try to get a paternity leave, I asked 2 months in advance, and they just gave me all this crap and threatened with litigation. It just depends.
Yeah.
It's hit and miss. So
Okay.
you really got to just be careful. Do your
You're a
research.
lucky boy.
I'm very lucky, but I
Mm.
wasn't gonna go down without a fight. Let's put it that way.
You're probably
Oh,
lucky.
yeah,
eh?
My
that's
wife
true,
is
that's true,
Korean, and
that's true.
she's very
Yeah.
aggressive. Her and I just would have marched into place and bought the school from them and just plowed it right in front of them. So it's fine. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Do your research.
Leilani, any other big negatives that people should know about teaching in Korea?
Oh yeah, so lots of them, but I'd say that with Korean bosses, they tend to treat you, number one, as if you're Korean staff, and the Korean staff have different contracts
Mhm.
compared to us. For example, found out recently that the Korean teachers actually sign contracts, well, at my Hagwon, where they actually have to come in on Saturdays to teach. And sometimes the expectation is that you do the same. So they kind of shove you into these things where they've made these unanimous decisions and you're supposed to just go along with them.
Right.
So, and I mean, that goes outside of contractual hours. Weekends have
Yes.
got nothing to do with Hagwon time.
Yes.
We've been asked to market for them, and we've put up a fight, but we ended up just doing it because it was getting toxic. And so we just said, okay, let's just suck it up and do it. We had to
Yep.
be up early one morning to go to elementary schools to give out pamphlets and stuff.
The
and
pens
packets
and the
with stuff
pencils.
about the
Yeah,
Hagwon.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
if
yeah,
this is what the
did that
Korean staff is
before.
going to do, cool,
Yeah.
but we didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's-
did that
it-
before. Yeah.
It was saying like we needed to go and have a speech contest like a few weekends ago, and we just had to do it on a Saturday.
Mhm.
The other negative, I'm sure you guys can relate, is that you are going to be given a minute notice before you have to do stuff. They're all
Sure.
going to be like, oh,
Oh,
we're having a
yes.
dinner today.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
Yeah.
to do
You
this
do it.
today.
Beat
Oh, but
you
why
up,
didn't you tell me
yeah.
this 2
You're
weeks
just-
in
You're
advance?
just at their mercy. That's all you can do about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that's a good
Absolutely,
point you
and-
made. You got to read your contracts. Read your contracts. How many hours you got to work? How many teaching hours you got to give? And my contractor actually said you have to work 3 Saturdays, and they made us work the 3 Saturdays. So read your contract very carefully. What
Yeah,
happens if
mine
you're
was very
sick?
vague. Very vague.
If you're sick, if you want to take a sick day, you got to read it all very carefully. Yeah. Oh, sorry. One more
How
thing
many
you were going to
sick
say,
days you
Leilani?
had?
One more.
Sorry,
Were you going to say one more?
I was, but
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do quickly some benefits. The benefits, I'll say I used it this year. I wish I used it more often, was the national health insurance. I broke my elbow and I actually got some dental. You are paying for it. Like, it's not cheap. I think I used to say, like, it's so cheap. Like, it's like $80 a month coming out of your paycheck, $100 out of a month, your paycheck. Yeah. So this is the American laughing, but that's a lot of money. In Australia, I get health insurance for $50 a month. But
Oh, good for you.
so
Good
you're
for
paying
you.
for it and use it. So I got X-ray and see the doctor, less than $20. I went to the dentist and got scaling, less than $20. So you're paying for the national health insurance. Go get yourself checked out and make use of it.
Yes.
I should have done that a lot more than what I have. Yeah. Any other benefits? You guys, anything good? That's about it.
I was going to reach out to the Americans, like, hey, health insurance,
Yeah.
come on over. Go to the hospital just for fun. You got a little cough, go to the hospital. You get a nice gown, a little IV hookup, go outside, smoke a cigarette with the other ajashis. You're okay. Take advantage.
Leilani, you are a couple. What's it like trying to get a couple job? Like some schools do.
That's difficult.
It's difficult.
It's more, yeah. So like our contract is
Oh.
ending mid-November,
Yeah.
and I guess if you came in like the main times where there's a massive influx, maybe it would be better like March and September.
Yeah.
But it's a little more difficult, like getting couple jobs around that time of the year. Also, I guess now would actually be the time to look. But at like about a month ago, when we were still hunting for jobs, we really struggled. We managed to find one actually close by, so we're going to a different Hagwon. We're gonna settle for elementary and kindergarten
Oh.
side. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be the most amount of hours teaching kindergarten for me than
Yeah.
it would be in this country. So I'm a little nervous.
All right, we got very
It's
short.
exciting as well.
Yeah, short amount of time. What I would say, come positive. And if you are enjoying the teaching job, Hokchun was saying like a lot of people from baseball, they stay 1 year, 2 year, and a lot of them get married to Koreans like Gio and stay 20
Heyo.
years.
Yep.
Start learning Korean. That's my biggest regret. My biggest regret is not learning Korean and start getting my levels up to level 4
It's not
in the
late.
test. Because when you get to Gio's 5 years, that's when you can start getting resident visas and F visas, but you need your level 4 teaching. So that's my advice. If you're enjoying the teaching, level 4 Korean, that's my advice to everyone is
Yes.
start doing those steps just in case you want to stay.
Mhm.
Alrighty, I hope that gave you guys a lot of advice and guidance to get a good job in Korea. It's important and very important to do your research. It's a big choice to come to Korea. It's not easy, but I've enjoyed my 5 years. Gio's been for 7. Leilani's come back with her husband. So it is worth an investigation anyway. Leilani, thank you so much for coming on. You're our 3rd guest. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Maybe we'll get you
Pleasure
back
having you
on
here.
and you can talk about being married and all that sort of stuff. But thank you for coming on. Gio, do you want to give us an ending?
As always, thank you so much for tuning in weekly and supporting our podcast. If you want to receive updates whenever we release new episodes, head to our website and sign up to our mailing list.
Thank you. All right, bye.